The biggest security threat, as we've spoken about, is rhino poaching, and it's a very, very expensive and time-consuming operations on security. Other security issues are your general, theft and things like that, which is it's very low key at the moment. But the maintenance of the park, we're surrounded by people, and we've got lions this side and no lions that side. We've got elephants this side. So our fence maintenance needs to be at the highest standard. The animals may not escape. So that's a big... And then we've got infrastructure for tourism. When I said that the actual tourism product is concessioned out, the facilities they're using belong to us. So they've got to have a road network to drive on. They've got to go to picnic sites and viewing platforms, the hides. So that all falls under us. So all of that infrastructure and security is maintained by us, and obviously that also comes down to money. And the more money you have, the better things can be. But unfortunately, conservation all over the world, we're not unique, is very under budgeted all the time. So we try and do what we can with the best, with what little we have. And I don't think we're not doing a bad job considering. Bushfires, we have a fire program every year. Fire is a natural part of ecosystem management. And generally what we're doing is we're managing fuel loads. So we don't leave our areas to become too thick with grass and old material, because then when you do get a fire, it becomes very uncontrollable. That's what we would call now a firestorm. So if a fire in old fuels that haven't burned for many years happens at the wrong time of the year, in other words, probably very late winter, early summer, when the daytime temperatures are very high and your wind speed and things like that is very strong, then you get what we call firestorms. And those fires become uncontrollable, and they damage trees, they damage infrastructure. They may or may not kill animals, but obviously there are insects and things and reptiles that don't get away from those fires. But so we burn at a different process. We manage our fuel loads over the park. The park is 50,000 hectares, so we have a certain amount of fires that we do every year ourselves, which break up the fuel loads, and everywhere of the park will get burnt over a few years. There's not really any place it doesn't get burnt. So we're trying to control those wildfires through that natural mechanism, if you want to call it like that, rather than. And then obviously you've got fire breaks that you put around infrastructure to hope that the fire doesn't jump the fire break. But it's a real challenge as well, because if you look at behind me now, this grass is extremely dry and it's extremely flammable. So if you go into the park, it's a threat. If you get a fire today, we've got to try and put it out. Tourism caused fires are very few and far between. The biggest challenge for Pilanesberg is that we're surrounded by communities, and so they make fires in their own homes, in their gardens, and then they will some of those fires blow into the park and cause us a wildfire, which we have to then control. And then obviously lightning. When you start building up the end of winter, when the summer storms start building up, the grass is still dry, and then the lightning can set the grass on fire, which is one of the bigger causes of sort of a non-planned fire. Okay, so fire management, when a fire happens, we'll obviously look at where's the fire going. Maybe it's burning towards a place that's already burnt. In other words, you don't have to do anything. But areas where you need to secure it, that it doesn't spread too far, then we've got a team. It's called the Working on Fire team. There's about 30 guys. They're fully equipped, so they can go with fire beaters and knapsack sprayers. We've obviously got vehicle-borne firefighting units, water, but we don't have the luxury of aeroplanes to bomb it and things like that. It would be nice, but we don't have it. And generally, those things only happen when it's completely out of control. When it's really threatening life and property. But generally, bushfires, you get them. You try and guide them to a place where you can control it, just through manpower and water, vehicle managed water points.